Hi, and welcome to Growing Possibilities. On today's episode, we're going to take a look at why different crops require different inoculants. So first off, let's look at our two products here. We've got Excite Bio Pulse Rhizo, and that's going to be for pulses, your peas, lentils, fava beans. And we've got Excite Bio Soy Rhizo, and that's specific to soy. We've got red here for the pulses, and we've got green for the soy. And I'm going to use that color coding in this episode to help you identify the two different bacteria. So the two different bacteria are Rhizobium leguminosarum and Bradyrhizobium japonicum. Now you don't necessarily need to remember that, but just know that those are really the two active ingredients whenever someone's talking about an inoculant for these specific crops. Now in order to give you a better visual of these bacteria and how they infect crop roots, I have made a little animation. But what I should say is that this animation is not to scale, and it's not really intended to be a really scientific visual representation. Here's a picture of what Bradyrhizobium japonicum actually looks like under a microscope. So basically it just looks like a bunch of little bacteria. If you're not a scientist, it's not super interesting. And also there are 2 billion of these bacteria per gram of our product. So just an incredible amount that we couldn't really represent on screen. With that said, let's take a look at the animation.
Alright folks, so here we got a couple of bacteria in the soil. They have been deposited either on seed or in furrow. As such, they're close to the main root and they're just kind of spinning around. They're not doing much. Bacteria are super unmotivated on their own. They are content to just kind of sit there living their lives. But the plant is not. It is trying to attract some nitrogen-fixing bacteria to its roots. So it is releasing these compounds. Now those are called flavonoids, and they're kind of like a perfume for these little rhizobia. And we see the green one moving. That's because these flavonoids are specific to the Bradyrhizobium japonicum, which is represented by our green bacteria here. Now bacteria doesn't really have a brain, so it can't plot a course towards the root, but it goes towards the higher concentrations like we can see here. And the highest concentration is right at the root tips. Now this is where infection takes place. And when bacteria reaches, it releases its own compounds called LCOs. You can see them there, and this signals the root tip to accept the bacteria. Bacteria enters the root tip, infection or colonization is taking place, and look at that, we have nitrogen forming nodules on the roots. Folks, it has happened. And look at our little red bacteria. He is just sad. He is sad because there is no pulse plants. This was a soy plant, not a pulse plant. And so he can infect it. And he's just kind of gonna, go around. He's homeless, he's jobless, he's got a sad life. It's too bad.
Now what you're gonna wanna look for when buying for your farm is first, of course, that you have the right bacteria for the right crop. But you're also gonna wanna make sure that bacteria is very vigorous in colonizing the plant. For us, we have an AGPT formulation. And what that does is it nourishes the bacteria, making sure that there is an optimal number for colonization of the plant, but it also makes sure that it nourishes the native local microflora that could potentially help out or that we don't want to compete with. Well, it works in synergy with those. Don't just think that an inoculant is an inoculant. And if you want to talk to us about our products or learn more, visit excitebio.com or give us a call at 1-855-EXCITE-BIO. We'd be happy to talk to you. Until next time, this is Rick Clement wishing you healthier plants and better yields.